Hope you're doing awesome. Welcome back. Another Q&A. Got a awesome question from Evan as a follow-up to my recent video on how to plan and prepare for an interview. If you haven't watched it yet, probably pause this one and go click the link below and go watch that one and come back. Although they're kind of interchangeable, so it doesn't matter. But here we go. His question is how to prepare for a Skype interview. Okay? Really good question because there's a concern about the technology. So basically he says, what if my camera doesn't look right? Because sometimes it might look like you're looking down even though you're looking straight on at a camera. You probably know what I'm talking about. I mean, even when you're shooting a video on a phone, sometimes it looks like that. And these are valid concerns. So I want to address this question. And this question really applies to Skype. It can apply to Google Hangouts. Any type of video conferencing software that you'll be using for interviewing. It's the same principle, same concept. And I'll even go as to say a phone interview as well, it still applies, okay? So basically, if you've seen that video, all of the 10 steps or tips, however you want to call it, apply to Skype or video conferencing and even phone calls, okay? It all applies. There's one on there, obviously, that doesn't, and that means, or not means, but I talk about shaking hands. You obviously can't do that over Skype, but everything else, everything on that list applies. All the way down to the dress, even if you're on the phone. There's something psychological about being dressed for the occasion. So it's highly recommended that even if you're at home, you're on an interview, on the phone, get dressed. Okay, don't walk around in flip-flops and pajamas or whatever it is. There's something in your mind that says, okay, this is what I need to focus on. I'm dressed for the occasion. I'm going to knock this out. So everything applies. Now, what I will add, okay, regarding your concern on the technology, is that something to think about here. You're an IT professional or aspiring to be an IT professional, applying for an IT job, right? Utilizing technology for an interview. If you do not have that working before the interview, that is going to look horrible to the person interviewing you, okay? I hope that makes sense. So make sure before the interview, not an hour before, but maybe a few days before, you test your Skype communication. So call a friend, call a family member, I don't care who it is, somebody needs to test this out with you to make sure that it's working flawlessly. I mean, make sure that it's working flawlessly. Don't mess this up because it'll look absolutely terrible on your part. So make sure on your end everything works great, okay? Let me add this as well. Don't do this in a public place, please. Don't go to a coffee shop like a Starbucks or a bookstore to do your Skype interview. I mean, that would absolutely be ridiculous, okay? Just don't do that. Find a private place at home, where the background looks semi-professional. You don't have a mess behind you. There's people not walking behind you. Okay, use some common sense as to your surroundings. Okay, because they're looking at everything on the other side of this, right? They're paying attention to all these different details. So make sure that you are in a private place that they can hear you. There's no distractions, okay? Like behind me is my whiteboard. My whiteboard's just clean. I mean, that would probably be the perfect background. Obviously, you don't need a whiteboard, but you get the point, okay? And that's pretty much it. Everything else is the same. Don't overcomplicate this. You're just having a conversation with somebody either on the phone or on a video conference, okay? There's nothing else different about meeting in person. Maybe it's, for some people, it might even be more comfortable rather than meeting in person. I don't know. It depends on you, okay? But everything else applies that I talked about in that video, and that's pretty much it. Hopefully that helps you out. Make sure you leave me comments below if you have any other questions on this. Thank you so much for asking questions. Thank you for watching. If this is your first video, I appreciate you for stopping by. Make sure you subscribe as well. Would love the subscription. And for anyone else that's watching this, if you haven't downloaded my resource guide, I highly recommend you do that. Download the link below. That'll get you on my email list as well to keep up with what's happening. So have a great day. Talk to you on that next episode. See ya.